If you're an early career researcher, you know how crucial that next step is. Well, today we're going to demystify one of Ireland's most prestigious awards, the Government of Ireland Postdoctoral Fellowship. This could be a real game changer for your career, so let's dive right in. Before we get into all the rules and sections, let's start with the right mindset. A former fellow, Elaine Farrow, put it perfectly. This isn't just about filling out a form. It's about telling a story, your story. You need to make your journey, your research, and your potential sound engaging and impressive. So, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off by looking at what makes this fellowship so unique. Then, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the offer and who's eligible. After that, a super important section on choosing your mentor. Then we'll break down how to craft a winning proposal, and we'll wrap up with the critical mistakes you absolutely have to avoid. Okay, first up, the Government of Ireland Postdoctoral Fellowship. What is it really, and why does everyone in academia consider it such a career-defining opportunity? Well, what really makes this fellowship stand out is the freedom and the prestige. This is an award in your name, which looks incredible on your CV. You get to drive your own research. It's what they call bottom-up, so you're proposing your passion project. Best of all, it's open to pretty much every discipline you can think of, and it's judged by international experts to keep it objective. Honestly, winning this thing signals to the world that you're a future research leader. All right, so you're interested. Let's talk numbers, rules, and all the practical stuff. What do you actually get from this, and how do you know if you can even apply? First off, the financial side is pretty solid. For the 2026 call, you're looking at a salary of over 47,000 euros in your first year, and that goes up in the second year. And this is huge. On top of that, you get a 5,000 euro budget each year for your own research expenses. Think travel, books, conferences, equipment. It's yours to use. Now, you've got two main paths you can choose. There's a 12-month fellowship, which is really designed to help you take your PhD thesis and turn it into top-tier publications, like a book or major articles. Or there's the 24-month fellowship. That one's for developing a completely new research project that goes way beyond your doctorate. You really need to think about which one makes more sense for you right now.
Okay, time for a quick eligibility check. Your PhD needs to have been awarded in the 5 years before May 31st, 2026. Now, they do make exceptions for documented career breaks, like parental leave, so check that out. You also need at least one peer-reviewed publication under your belt, and a couple of other things. You can't have been unsuccessful twice before, and you can't already have a permanent academic job. If you check all those boxes, you're good to go. All right, let's move on to something that is just absolutely crucial to your application's success, finding and securing the right academic mentor. This is a big one.
Now listen up, because this is a massive rule change for the 2026 call. A mentor can now support only one applicant. That's it. If their name shows up on more than one application, every single one of those applications will be thrown out. So choosing your mentor and making sure they're committed to you and only you is more important than ever. So who can even be a mentor? Well, they need to be a permanent or contracted staff member, and their contract has to last for the entire fellowship. They also need to have the facilities and resources your project requires. And let me be really clear on this. It is 100% your responsibility to find this person, get them to agree, and make sure they're eligible. No one's going to do it for you.
So we've covered the why, the what, and the who. Now let's get down to the how. We're going to break down the application itself and really focus on what the reviewers are looking for.
First things first, you got to know how you're being scored. Your project idea is the biggest piece of the pie, worth 35%, but right behind it is you, the applicant, at 30%. That's huge. Then your training and career development plan is a very significant 25%, and finally, the environment. So your mentor and the institution is 10%. You can't neglect any of these. That 30% for the applicant section, a huge part of that comes from your personal statement. This is where you connect all the dots on your CV. It's your chance to tell that story we talked about, to explain why you are so passionate about this specific work. And that advice from Elaine Farrow is so important here. This is not the time for humility. You need to be bold. You have to spell out why you're an excellent researcher and why you're the perfect person for this project. Be professional, of course, but let your passion shine through. Now for the biggest section, the project. Two words are key here: clear and feasible. Your proposal has to be crystal clear about your goals and your methods. The reviewers need to understand exactly what you're trying to do, and they need to believe you can actually do it in the time you have. You have to prove this work is a genuine step forward for your field.
And here's some fantastic practical advice on the writing itself. Use I. Be direct. Write in short, simple sentences. Get rid of unnecessary jargon. Remember, the reviewer is an expert, but maybe not in your tiny subfield, so you need to make it easy for them to understand and get excited about your ideas. Using subheadings is a great way to structure it. Okay, next up, your career development plan. Please do not treat this as an afterthought. It's worth a full quarter of your score. You have to show the reviewers that you've thought about your long-term future. What specific new skills, both for research and beyond, are you going to gain from this fellowship?
And here's a tip that a lot of applicants miss. The reviewers want to see that you're realistic. They know not everyone stays in academia. So talk about your academic goals for sure, but also highlight the transferable skills you'll gain. How will this fellowship prepare you for a career outside of the university as well? That shows you're thinking strategically.
And finally, let's talk about how to make sure all your hard work doesn't go to waste. There are some really simple mistakes that can get a brilliant proposal disqualified before a reviewer even looks at it.
And this is why it's so important. Look at that number. The average success rate is only about 12%. This fellowship is incredibly competitive. You simply cannot afford to get knocked out because of a silly technical error. You have to be meticulous.
So, here are the killers. These are the top reasons people get disqualified. Getting your mentor's name wrong between the different parts of the form. Your mentor supporting someone else. We talked about that one. Going over the word count. Submitting 1 minute late, and of course plagiarism. Double-check everything, then triple-check it. Don't let this happen to you.
You know, we started this whole thing by talking about your application as a story, and that's really the perfect way to think about it. The council isn't just looking for good ideas, they're looking for future leaders who can tell a compelling story about their work. So, I'll leave you with this question. Your research has a powerful story. Are you ready to tell it?